So hello everybody. We are in day 9, I think. So this will be the last class of, if you consider yourself a beginner. Now this is your last class as a beginner. You'll move from beginner to intermediary, and if you're not a beginner, then you know exactly where you are. You're probably just trying to break the misconceptions that you have. So basically here we are on Euro USD, and I definitely want to jump directly into time frames. So in the last two classes, we talked about buyers and sellers, and we talked about areas of interest. Now, the reason why I want to jump into time frames is because it's an important topic that allows you to know exactly where to get involved. If you can master time frames, you can master the direction of the price and the areas where the price would most probably bounce back from or breach. So for example, let me take an example. Let's go on the daily time frame. Here we are on the daily time frame, for example, right? And we see a clear uptrend. Does that mean that in the 15 minutes you'll be buying Euro USD? Absolutely not, because each candle is 1 day. So you see that here, you see a big push to the upside, but you also see pushes to the downside. So for example, if you go down to the 15 minutes, that might be a downtrend. So you don't want to be fooled by time frames, right? If you look at a daily candle has it's 24 hours, right? So it has 6 4 hours candle, 24 1 hour candle, and so on and so forth, right? So sometimes you might target areas or enter in certain price levels that would allow you to make a profit. For example, it would be a buy on the daily, or if you're on the 15 minutes, it would be a sell. So if you call your friend and you're looking to buy Euro USD, and your friend tells you, no, I'm selling Euro USD, you might just not be on the same time frame, having the same targets, and getting on the same price level. So here you have a push to the upside, and we already marked our demand and supply level. So this is a demand level, so the price is pushing up from this level. Here you have, for example, supply level, the price is pushing down, and now we have a push to the upside here after this bearish push, right? So let's go to the 4 hours, for example. Now we have a bit more detail. So as I said, for 6 candles of 4 hours is 1 candle of daily candle, right? So here we see that push going to the downside, and then we see a push going to the upside. But again, 1 candle that you see here is 4 candles on the 1 hour. So for example, if I don't know, if you are on the daily and you try to buy this, it might be a bit tricky. So you'll have to go to a lower time frame. This is why we do top-down analysis. You'll have to go to a lower time frame to basically target a good price, a good entry price, get into a good entry price, and have a good stop loss and a good take profit. So usually what I do, if I have to take my trade on the 1 hour, I'll go on the 4 hours, put my stop loss and my take profit targets, and get into the price on the 1 hour time frame. Why? Because if I go on the 4 hours, I might have a bigger stop loss, but this stop loss will have a certain purpose and will be way more secure than having a stop loss put on the 1 hour or on the 15 minutes. If I get on the 15 minutes, I would put my stop loss and my take profit levels from the 1 hour. Okay, so I'll have a bigger stop loss, yes. A bigger take profit, yes. The trade will take more time, yes. However, I'll get into a good price, yes, because I'm getting into a lower time frame with more details, and I'll be targeting a good I'll be having a good target, and at the same time my stop loss will have a purpose and will be in a safe zone. Okay, so for example, if you take a trade, okay, let's try to analyze the 1 hour here. So you see that 4 hour pushing to the upside and having an uptrend right here. However, you still want to acknowledge this supply level where we're going back to currently, and probably as you see here, this seller might be back on Euro USD because we have deeper pushes. However, the push came back really strong to the upward as well. So we want to see if that can breach the upside or we'll start just ranging. Okay, so we'll go to the 1 hour. And what you see on the 1 hour is just way more details, right? So let me go where we were. Okay, great. So what we have here, we have way more details. So each candle on the 4 hours is 4 candles on the 1 hour. And what I see here, for example, if let's say I want to take a sell at this point from here to this low, most people would put their stop loss around this area. Is it a good area? Probably not. Okay, because if you go to the 4 hours, you'll see that if you put your stop loss here, the price might come and take you out for multiple reasons. You have this high. So for example, if you want to be aggressive in that sell, you would put your stop loss here above this high. Or if you want to be safe, you would put your stop loss up there and have a take profit down here. Okay, if you truly believe that Euro is going to lose power or USD is going to take power. However, let's take fundamentals into consideration. Today we have USD being super weak, and we are Monday 18th of August, right? And we have USD being weaker and weaker. So we'll be looking fundamentally for Euro USD to go up, right? And it's not that, it's really straightforward. So when I'm looking at this on the 4 hours, I want to buy, okay? So let's say I'm buying fundamentally and based on my analysis. Let's say I'm buying, right? I'll have either my stop loss here or here, but safer for it to be down here. And then I'll have a take profit of a 1 to 3 because we are at an all-time high right there. I'll take it through 3 RR or 2 RR, and throughout the trade, I'd be adjusting my stop loss, my take profit, and if I'm really in positive, I would scale up more and more. And if I'm wrong, I would just close the trade and get back at a better price. However, I know my stop loss, I know my take profit, I don't know my entry price yet. You don't want to chase the price. Most traders on the floor would die rather than chase the price. You want to know where the price is heading, and the best way to get filled is to have a buy order in this case, right? So I'll go on the 1 hour and then I'll be looking for my entry. Let's go back here. And now I want to know exactly where I can get filled, right? Really nice. MT5 reacting. Okay, great. So here, we love these sounds. That's trader sounds. Anyways, you have a push here, you know that you have your stop loss down there, and that the trade will take a lot of time to perform. However, you want to get filled, so you either take your trade around here at the breach of this level, so you would put a buy order here, and when the price will reach that level, you'll get filled and hopefully drive a ride that push to the upside. Or if you believe that you would have a deeper pullback, you would analyze your areas and levels from where the price would bounce back from, and you would put your buy order, like for example down here, because we have some kind of resistance here, right? And when the price reaches there, you'll get filled, and it will turn around and go back to the upside if you're right. Right? So then we'll obviously talk about how can we hedge the risk of doing that, and how can we have a good risk management while doing this kind of transactions, right? But right now, you kind of understand the basis of the charts, so you understand what you're dealing with. You know that it's not about patterns, it's about price. You know that there are market participants making the price of a particular asset move, and here we talked all our boot camp of Euro USD. You know that you have buyers and sellers, so people that are interested to buy, people that are more interested to sell, depending on their use of that asset. And we have no use of the asset, we're just intermediaries, we're just making money out of money. That's it. This is the role of a trader, right? You also understand that you have areas of interest, so market participants will look at an asset and decide of a fair value. And this is why you have, for example, strategies like mean reversion. So you have the fair value of an asset, and this is what I'm looking for. Where are market participants ready to buy and sell and reach a consensus price? And when this consensus price is breached to the upside or the downside, you would basically, and I would ride this price down or up, right? So understanding market levels and where people are ready to get filled, where buyers and sellers are ready to buy or sell, is very important for us. And these are simply called supply and demand levels, support and resistance levels. It's all the same thing in all strategies, because without that, no strategy exists, truly, because it's the baseline of supply and demand. So if you don't understand supply and demand basic economics, or the price, how the price of a certain asset is decided by the society, by the economy, by participants that are transacting, basically your knowledge or your understanding of the chart is completely wrong. You don't want to base yourself on patterns. What you want to decide, what you want to be focused on, you want to be focused on why is the price of that asset is moving, and how can I get a profit out of that, right? So now that you understand all of this and how time frames work and what the difference between time frames is not that complicated, you understand the levels, you understand where the price is going, where you can get filled, where you should get filled through your analysis and the fundamentals, and when you should trade, when you should avoid trading, for example, when there's numbers releases. Now you understand our mission as as traders, our work as our job. And your job is to simply make money out of money. That's it. You have money, you have a capital, you buy an asset, you sell it as a profit, you sell an asset, you buy it back as a profit. That's it, right? So I'll see you in the first class of the next level, right? Because now we're going to talk more deeply about strategies. We're going to talk deeper about trading, getting involved in the charts, and this will be amazing. It's going to be really exciting. So I'll see you then, and peace.